Welcome to the Get Fit Guys quick and dirty tips to get moving and shape up. My name is Brock Armstrong and I'm the Get Fit Guy. When it comes to building strong and defined muscles, the view from behind is not all about the glutes. Having a strong back and strong shoulders is not only attractive, but it's also an essential part of feeling and performing your best. And that's what we're going to talk about today. A strong, well-toned back does more than allow you to look good in a tight t-shirt. It also is key to having good posture, being and remaining able-bodied, and of course also preventing dreaded back pain, especially as we age. Back pain is a problem that is currently estimated to affect more than 80% of Americans. It has been suggested that the veritable pandemic of back pain is at least partially due to the amount of time that we spend sitting at a computer or cranking our necks down to look at a device of some sort. But whenever someone brings that idea up, well, I can't help but think back to my grandparents craning their necks and backs at paperback books or knitting or even simply the daily newspaper. Now, sure, perhaps I'm twisting my memories to defend technology because it's how I make my living and also how I spend my leisure time. But I believe humans have a longer history of bad posture than our current smartphone obsession. But okay, I digress. Let's start with this. Gravity is a drag. Beyond the fact that it constantly pulls on our meat sack bodies, making us look more and more droopy as we age, it also tugs directly on our backs and our spines, our shoulders, and our neck. To simply stay upright during the workday, you are basically locked in an epic battle with gravity, and that can be seriously exhausting, especially if your muscles aren't up for the challenge. When you think about it, it's obvious that the stronger and more supple and more able your postural muscles are, the easier it is to maintain the optimal alignment of your body. Now, picture this. Your eyes are on the horizon. Your neck is nice and tall. Your shoulders are pulled back and your rib cage is relaxed, and your pelvis is aligned directly under your center of mass. Doesn't that sound awesome? Regal, even? Well, okay, now try this. Keep everything the same from what I just described and align the outside edges of your feet with something straight. Now, move your ankles so that they are the same width as your pelvis. Then shift your pelvis, or your body weight, over your heels, not your toes. Now, you are aligned. So, why aren't you standing like this all the time? Well, probably because you're currently listening to this on your phone or another device, and you're staring down at that, but perhaps also because you lack the strength and the muscle balance to maintain that position. And by muscle balance, I mean that you have spent too much time developing those pecs and biceps and forgot about everything on your back because, well, out of sight, out of mind. All right, let's get bold for a second here. Aside from all the health benefits, having a strong, lean, and toned back, well, it's attractive on both men and women. And speaking of women, I've heard more than a few of the female fitness clients that I work with say that there's something particularly awesome about knowing they are strong enough to carry their boyfriend on their back. And you know what? I second that notion. I don't like the term strong is the new sexy because it implies that we are all striving or should be striving to be sexy. And I hope we're starting to grasp as a society that that notion is likely the root of many mental health issues and eating disorders and the like. I prefer to think of it as strong is capable, not sexy, or strong is freedom. But in any case, there's nothing wrong with wanting to have a cut core or tighter triceps or more defined calves, as long as we don't do it at the expense of maintaining our overall fitness. All right, before we get into the workout, let's first look at some ways that we can avoid or alleviate any back pain that we may be experiencing. And the first thing we're going to talk about is strengthening the glutes. Your glutes are the muscles that are responsible for launching you forward as you walk, propelling you up the stairs, stabilizing your hips when you land a jump, and perhaps, most important of all, simply holding your pelvis upright when you stand. If your glutes are weak, your lower back muscles will have to work harder than they should, and that can make them fatigued and achy. You can check out the article called "What's the Best Butt Exercise" for some great info on that. Now, the next thing we should look at is how to keep your calves mobile, because having stiff and tight calves can really contribute to back pain. The tighter and less mobile your lower leg is, the more your gait affects your upper back, pulling it forward, which contributes to curling your spine. Adding a daily calf stretch or finishing every workout session with some calf stretches is a good way to help better align your spine. The next thing you can try is twisting and rotating. Unless you're into yoga or Pilates, you probably don't do a lot of twisting and rotating of the spine. If you could watch a skeleton move, you would see that each vertebrae not only bends forward and backwards and side to side, but it also can rotate and twist. Bending, rotating, and twisting are all natural motions. So don't simply limit yourself to one or two of those motions. Do them all. And my next tip is stop wearing shoes with heels. Shoes with heels throw your body's natural mechanics into a state of dysfunction. In fact, British researchers found that wearing heels regularly over the course of a lifetime can actually shorten calf muscles by as much as 13%. Also, wearing heels has been shown to thicken your Achilles tendon, and chronic heel wearers actually experience discomfort and pain even when they take the heels off. And if that wasn't enough, well, high heels have been proven to compress and damage the lumbar spine, which can increase the chances of getting osteoarthritis or degenerative disc disease in your lower back. Now, my next tip is don't walk like a duck. You can think of it like the wheels on your bike. Your feet should point in the direction that you are headed, just like your bike. When your feet rotate outward beyond a 12 to 15 degree range anyway, you start to lose hip function. And biomechanically speaking, you are putting your back and your lower joints at risk of injury. If you do walk like a duck, and I'm one of those people who does, a good way to practice getting your feet more parallel is to line up the outside of your feet along a straight edge, like a tiled floor, and walk along that. Check in occasionally by looking down to make sure you're still straight, but don't strain your neck by continually looking down. Just check in sometimes. And if you practice that enough, it will start to be your natural way of walking. All right, now that your feet are ready, your hips are loose, your back is supple and ready to rock, I'm going to give you a back building, not a back breaking workout. But you're going to have to wait till next week because that's going to be part 2 of this podcast. Now, in the meantime, head over to facebook.com/getfitguy or twitter.com/getfitguy or go to getfitguy.quickanddirtytips.com and you will find transcripts of this podcast and all the other ones. You'll also find the entire back catalog, which isn't available on iTunes. So, getfitguy.quickanddirtytips.com. Now, my name is Brock Armstrong, and I'm the Get Fit Guy, asking you, what are you waiting for? Go get fit.